Brainz is a character I think many are misinformed about. Many people believe he is a clone of the regular Super Brainz. This couldn't be further from the truth. In today's video, I'm going to be going into why Brainz is a completely different character and why Brainz might be better for your playstyle. Please leave a like, leave a comment on what character you would like to see next, join the Discord server in the description. Let's get into why Brainz is kind of a fraud. The things that change different variants from each other are the primaries, and in this case of the class, secondaries, because the superheroes have access to the beam. When you compare the punches, they are exactly the same. However, the thing that changes the most is the beam, something that is commonly looked down upon by the overall community. On a surface level, I can see why. The beam barely does any damage from range, and it doesn't allow you to jump when you use it. But in advanced play, the beam is what makes the superhero class really good. By going to options and putting on your aim type to toggle aim, you can jump and use the beam at the same time. You could even use this out of advanced momentum by using the kicks. Second you touch the ground, you can use the beam. This really changes the viability of the superhero class as a whole. There's even more strategic ways to use the beam. For example, corner glitching. You can set yourself up for a corner glitch where the opponent can't see you, but you can see them. You can shoot through walls. This works with majority of the cast, but is really effective at close range with Super Brainz, as you could hide behind a corner and you could do a ton of damage. However, speaking of damage, there is quite a difference between the class. This is where the real differences between Brainz and Super Brainz show. The beam. On the screen are the beam stats for each of the classes. Brainz has a DPS of 69.67. You can make your jokes all you want. That is without the party meter as well. He has the overheat time of 2.5. When we look at regular Brainz, his DPS is 82.5, a lot more than Brainz. His damage per shot is 9. They also have different stats and their penalties. The duration of Brainz's penalty is 5.5 seconds, meanwhile regular Super Brainz is 5 seconds, with the cooldown duration of Brainz being 7.3 seconds, and the cooldown duration of Super Brainz being 6.8. So there is quite a difference between the beams. So what does this mean? Yeah, regular Super Brainz has a better beam than Brainz, so what? Well, what it does mean is, if you're advanced with your playstyle and really learn how to use the beam, Super Brainz would be much better for your playstyle. Brainz is good if you like rushing in and using the punches, you play casually, and you don't really use the beam. That's definitely the better choice for you. However, regular Super Brainz, if you could really get good with using the beam, he is by far the better choice. Let's go over some strategies you could use this beam in. Here are the upgrades I recommend. You could always change with whatever you want, but I'd always recommend using the damage. Health is really good. The extra 10 health goes a long way. And overheat. It's like an ammo upgrade for your beam. So as I said, it's quite different how you play this character with the toggle aim gimmick. This is what you're going to want to do. Usually when people play Super Brainz, from my observations, I see them rush in with the kick, go in for some punches, die, rinse and repeat. Using the beam is basically a completely different playstyle. Let's use the tech on these peashooters over here. So with the beam, we don't have to go into their face, so they can't even see us. We have the height advantage. Now right here, we could jump over this hedge and still be able to shoot them. Usually we have to go all the way around, punch them, and be vulnerable to everyone else. The beam is a great source of damage because it's reliable and it has a very high damage output. Of course, still use the punches. Using the toggle aim doesn't mean to only use the beam. When learning to use toggle aim, that was a big issue I had at first. Only using the beam still. So right here, let's use the beam to shoot the cactus. There we go. You could kind of go in a hit and run style. If you're playing Citrons, you would kind of know how that works. Let's go behind here and take some cover. So let's regen a little bit. We're just gonna camp and run away. So it turns an aggressive character into more of a mid-range kind of zoning character. So right here, we could kind of use a head glitch to our advantage. So as you could see, we could shoot through roofs if we position ourselves properly, and the plants can't shoot us back. So we could shoot through areas where really don't make a lot of sense, but it definitely gives us an advantage. Of course, this works a lot better at a closer range. So if you get the correct angle, it is absolutely busted beyond belief. So on characters like Citrons, whenever they use their peel shield, you could jump up and then shoot them with the beam. So right there, I didn't have to force my, I didn't have to go to low ground and the chomper's there, and I was still able to get the kill. Able to jump is good, obviously, because movement is key in shooting games. It makes sense. See, look, he's hiding behind that fence. I could just jump, and I could still shoot at him. A really, really, really good skill to learn. Another thing is, if you get hit by a time snare, you can still shoot with the beam when you're using toggle aim. It's definitely an oversight from the devs, but it is a good thing to have. Let's go for a buzzer beater kill on this fire. There we go. So yeah, the beam is really good for shooting down like vertically mobile opponents like peashooters. The character this is definitely most helpful against is the chomper. I don't know what happened to the chomper there. The loudmouth bot definitely knocked him down a little bit. So we could get high ground. That's how you beat chompers as the superhero class. From my years of teaching this game, I've definitely heard people ask me how to deal with chompers as superheroes, and as any character in the game, really. You just want to get high ground, and they can't do anything. Right here, there's two chompers. Going in there with your fists is just like GG's. You're done. Now, staying up here, like I said, is just the way to go. Right here, let's get a jump. Let's go over here. So the jumping, SB's jump combined with his high health is like really, really good with the beam. It's like the perfect synergy. If you like superhero classes, or if you don't, this is something I definitely would recommend giving the character a second chance for, because it really is a different playstyle, especially if you like fully automatic characters with movement. If you're like a fan of characters like soldiers, this is definitely a fun one to pick up and learn to play. The tech isn't too hard to learn either. At first it's strange because you can't cancel the ADS when you're in the air. You could only do it when you're in the ground. So if you jump, you're kind of locked in the air at that slower speed, where you're forced to zoom, obviously. However, with practice, it definitely, over time, you'll notice it's worth it. Let's try to shoot through the wall here. Yeah, that's stupid that we could just do that. Like, people just can't rush me like that. Of course, like I said, it's safe. Use your fists still, because they're still obviously a really good tool that the character has. Even with my gameplay, I need to work on using the fists more for sure. But the beam is definitely better than the fists, so 100%. Especially when optimized, it's just uncontested. Like the beam is just like, for my playstyle, it's definitely better. The chomper just can't do anything about me. He's just forced to run. If we just keep our high ground, the chomper just is done if it sees us with our beam. You can also jump over the peel shields like I've talked about in the past, which is insane and really good. Managing the overheat is really good. If I wasn't running the overheat upgrade there, I likely would have overheated. That extra bit of firing time is huge. Alright, and that was a bit on why Party Brainz is not all you think. My reg Brainz is definitely worth playing. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. December is going to be an amazing month for the channel, so don't forget to subscribe and like the video. It only takes a second. It really helps. I truly mean that. It really, really helps. Thank you guys.